I spent a very long time practicing my life away, lifting up the pencil, never to draw but to study constantly. But now I find myself at the point where I've learned but I haven't refined anything. That's why it's time I go back and refine my understanding. I'll begin with segment 1, honing my own knowledge on how to draw the head, using a method I call the fork method. The fork method is using this shape, which is similar to a fork, to mark the chin start, lips, nose, eyes, eyebrows, and even the head shape all at once. It is very easy to portray the 3D effect that a lot of people struggle with when drawing. When we draw the face, it's easy to forget that when drawing, despite it all being 2D, a real head is very much 3D. And while the vertical line down from a 1/2 angle like this may seem correct, it's actually closer to this because when drawing in 3D, you also have to apply perspective. Perspective is how we, the viewer, see an object affected by distance and from where it's viewed. Like how a cube looks more like this when you're looking up at it, and how it looks more like this when you're looking down at it. Now that we know this, we can actually get started on drawing the head in these different angles. And we start with the cross to portray the rotation vertically or horizontally. After this, I mark out the line where the nose is. Accounting for the head being 3D, I'd use a curve like this, and mark out the lips and chin. From the chin, we can draw the actual face shape, and finally, from the face shape, we could draw the head. But there's something missing. That's right. Moving on to segment 2, the eyes. For the eyes, it can get tricky if you don't remember these things. The eyes can typically be reduced into a few lines. The front upper eyelid, the middle upper eyelid, the back upper eyelid, inner eyelid, and bottom eyelid. Depending on your style, you can reduce the amount of lines or increase them, but following this, simply thicken it and apply eyelashes in a flicking motion. This is how I draw the full head. So, let's do a couple more now. While I do this, I'd like to ask you to be sure to subscribe as it helps out the channel, and be sure to comment if this video helped. That way I know if you like this type of content and want to see more. Now, it's time to move on to one of the hardest things to get right, the body. I've tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 methods. A lot of the time, I'd say I found a new better method, only to have the same problem. To me, this is the simplest, most effective way. Let's take a look at the body. When you move it to an angle like this, it can be pretty hard to understand the overlap. However, what if you were to just make it look like a bunch of rings? When you do this, you can still mark down where all the body parts start and end, but if you just figure out a way to make the silhouette, you can also figure out where to overlap. This lets you use any method you want, the egg method, box method, even just drawing the skeleton of the body just using these as a guideline. What I first do is trace where to place the lines on several different references and body types, trying to understand where to place each line, where the rib line is, how long the body is, how it needs to look from different angles, where it's flattened or curved. But tracing only gets you so far. Applying my knowledge without tracing is of course the next step, and as I sketch, I use my references constantly to check back, making sure I understand what I'm doing, because every good artist still uses references. It doesn't even have to be on the screen, sometimes a reference can just be in your head. But as I continue practicing and this video comes to an end, I like to end this off with a word of advice. A method is only as good as your understanding of it. Every method works well if you understand it. They don't work if you don't understand them. Focus on one first, then if you decide to branch out to different methods, you can apply your logic and understanding, and this is how I found the right method for me. Now, if you're interested in this video where I study NSFW art to see if it actually helped me get better, go ahead and give it a watch. The outcome of this video may surprise you.